Hello everyone and welcome to the start of Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, which we'll just refer to as Blackstone Fortress for brevity's sake. A new playthrough for the channel, going through a solo campaign from the base rulebook, although we'll eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, mix in some of the expansions and additional content. Got the board set up ready to go, which is to say you start with just a maglev elevator, but quickly just going to go over that this is not a how to play, this is a learning to play as I go. Hopefully doing everything right, but obviously there might be mistakes, oversights, etc. It's not on purpose. It's just spur of the moment. You sometimes forget stuff. If you're not familiar with Blackstone Fortress, it is set in the 40k universe. It's essentially Warhammer Quest, Hero Quest, etc. 40k universe. You set up a band of heroes. They go investigating the Blackstone Fortress for loot, and in terms of like greater purpose, they are trying to stop a corrupt chaos lord from usurping the Blackstone Fortress and taking control of it to Pulacadia, I think it's called. So anyway, we are set up to go on our first expedition. You start with just the elevator, but first of all there's some pre-game stuff over here. We have our Destiny dice. This is additional dice for additional actions you can take in a turn, although you have to discard any doubles, triples, etc. Discarded dice go there. Dice you can use for actions go there. You have your exploration deck. You create an exploration deck by getting all the combat cards, shuffling them, and drawing 4. All the event cards, shuffle them, draw 4, mix those two together, and boom, you've got yourself an exploration for your mission. So we know for a fact there's 4 combats in this deck, and 4 events of some type, which will just be like an agility test or something. We don't know what order they're in, but it does kind of help you, because you know for a fact there's 4 of each type. We have ships connected to the characters we're playing as. They have 1 expedition powers, like once per expedition you can use it to do a special power. We'll cover that if we do them. And then when you're after an expedition, the equivalent of going to town in Warhammer Quest, you flip them over and they become shops and they have special abilities. If we find loot, that comes from the discovery deck. Resources and legacy cards we'll worry about after. Legacy is kind of like the ticking clock element. There is a time limit on this. This is the dice we're using. This is the Blackstone die, which is the D20. And then you've got attack dice. D6s, which only have 2 successes on them. 1 crit, 1 normal. D8s, which I think have 2 normal successes, 2 crits. So it's a 50-50 chance of a success, because the rest are blank. Then D12s, which I believe have 4 blanks on them, 3 crits and 3 hits. So that's a very high chance of succeeding on those. So we do have to start in the elevator. We have Janice Drake, our rogue trader. He's going to be the leader of the operation. He uses a sword and a pistol. This is him. So he is going to be in the maglev elevator. We have Amelin Shadow Guide from the Biltan clan craft world, and she is here to look for lost elven artifacts, elder artifacts. She's got a long rifle and a power blade, and she's got a chameleon cloak as well. Then we have UR25, Artificial Intelligence is pretending to just be a helpful Imperial robot, because otherwise they'll kill him. So he is our tank. He has less action dice, he only has 3, but he gets to reroll failed saves and some stuff like that, and of course he has a minigun. Put him there for now. And then finally we have Pious Vorn. She just wants to burn heretics. That's pretty much just her whole shtick. She doesn't particularly care about doing anything else. I painted these characters up because they were the ones that seemed most fun to me. I have no idea if they gel well together. Characters can and probably will die, so I'll have to paint up some more heroes from the core box. There's 4 more. But there is a chance for characters to come back via magical shenanigans and such. Got the painted baddies over there. Rulebooks here for reference. This will be used during combat. This is encounter cards for combat. We draw initiative to see who gets turns. And these are the villain cards which you use. For instance, there's the Urguls. That's their attacks, and you roll the d20 to decide what they do based on the position they're in combat. If we run into them, we might not. So I think that covers everything. Let me just make sure I've got everything set up for the pre-game, and we can get started proper with our exploration of Blackstone Fortress. So we're just going to turn the rules over here to show you. This is the quick reference for prior to combat. So this was just explaining the results on the dice as I did. Inspiration points we'll cover once combat happens. This is how attack defense rolls work. Gambits are changing your position on the initiative line, and recoveries are trying to heal wounds. You can't heal grievous wounds unless you have something that says otherwise. But again, we can cover that as we go. So we're in exploration. We've started our quest. We're into the Blackstone Fortress. We want to find loot and kill some stuff. Exploration step is happening first. Recovery step we don't need to do because we just got started. And then leader step Oh yeah, I don't have the leader token handy. Well, we're going to say Janice is the leader. I think you're supposed to change it every time, but if you're playing solo, does it really matter? I don't know. It might matter. We'll see. So that's all done. So I'm going to put this to one side, and we're going to draw our exploration card and see if it's combat. It is combat, or an event. So now, what happens is, I go to the box, look at all this cardboard, we set this up, and where is it? The elevator starts there. There's 3 combat groups. I'll also set up the miniatures for the enemies, so let's see what encounter groups we're getting. So this will be number 1. So you look at the card, and then based on the position, it tells you who you fight, although in this case it's mostly 2... Well, actually no. It's in the number 1 slot, so it's actually all 4 negavolt cultists. So they're going to be appearing there. So that'll be put to one side. And then the number 2 encounter is 2 spindle drones. The number 3 encounter is 5 traitor guardsmen. So I did that ahead of time so that off camera I can set up the map and the enemies, and then I can show you, and then we'll work out initiative order as well, and then we can move on to the fun of combat. So here we are with the encounters set up. I believe the limit for normal sized models is 3 per hex. If I'm wrong about that, sorry. But there's the 2 spindle drones, there's the guardsmen, and here is the negavolt cultist down here. These little things are potential exit points, so there's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. That's how we end the combat. We get to one of those. Spend a 4+. It's one of the actions any character can do. They can spend a 4+ to call a maglev elevator, and that's your escape route, and then you carry on with the exploration. You can also spend a 4+ when standing on one of the hexes that had the numbers to draw loot. And other than that, basic actions. It's a 1+ to move. Most characters move 2. The robot doesn't because he's slower. And there's some special stuff you can do the higher the quality of the dice you use. So looking at the battlefield creation real quick, make sure we're doing this right. Set up battlefield, deployed hostiles, yep. Set up initiative deck, it's there ready to draw, it's already shuffled. And then you do the destiny phase, initiative phase, activation phase, event phase. Okay, we'll try and get this right. So first of all, let's see the order in which characters are acting. So Amelin Shadow Guide goes first, and then Hostile Group 4. Oh, there is no Hostile Group 4, sorry, that shouldn't have been in there. Carry on. UR25. And then third is Hostile Group 2, which is the Spindle Drones. And then after that, it is Pious Vorn. Then after that, apologise for the glare there, Hostile Group 1, which is the Negavolt Cultists. Janus Drake, and then we know the Guardsmen are going last. There they are. That's a measuring tool for line of sight, incidentally, that I'm kind of covering there. So we know the order in which the turns are going to be happening. You can do gambits, although actually first of all we've got to do destiny dice. Get these out of the way. So we roll these, and we discard any of the match. Well, that's unfortunate. Those 6s go away, they get discarded, but we have a 4, a 5, and a 2, and any of the characters can pull for them. So the way wounds work is they cover your activation slots. If you have them all covered and you get another one, you're dead. If they're all covered, they're still alive, but the only way they can activate is with destiny dice. So I guess we've got to roll for these as well. So we'll roll Genesis. So he gets a 6, a 2, a 5, and a 3. Put that there for him. Then Amelin Shadow Guide, who is going first, she gets a 4, a 5, a 1, and a 2. And then UR25 only gets 3. The higher the numbers are better for him because he gets to shoot his minigun more often, so that's pretty bad. And then Pious Vorn, who enjoys burning things, she rolled pretty badly as well. And if you want to know what characters roll for their defense, agility, etc., it's all written here on the card. Okay, so then you would go after Destiny phase, Initiative phase, Activation rolls, and Initiative, Covering Fire, Gambits. Covering Fire is when, if you're in the same, like for instance UR and Amelin can do Covering Fire to make UR swap places. And I think that just happens for free. A Gambit, you have to waste a die to try and swap places. Either with an adjacent enemy group, or if you get a crit, you can go anywhere. I think we're okay with where they are though. So with that, I believe we're ready to start round 1 of combat. But I'm going to stop and think about what I want to do. So give me a second. Alright, so I think we're ready to go with Amelin Shadow Guide. She's going to spend the 1 on her card to move, and her move is 3. So she's going to go 1, 2, and I think that might be enough. Let me check her range. Her long rifle, if she's 2 or 3 hexes away, and the spindle drones are 2 away, so she rolls that. If she could get further away, she would roll even better. You know, I think I'll take the chances on the D8. It's a 50-50 chance. And from there, she's going to spend a 4 on a long rifle attack. Now, if you can see, where is it? Ranger scope. If a 4+ activation die is spent during a long rifle attack, which it just was, that weapon action is treated as an aimed weapon action, which means you can hit targets in cover, although they're not in cover. Cover is the thick white line, and there's not a thick white line there. And also you can re-roll a failed attack. Okay, so she rolls 1d8, and it was nothing. This is a re-roll. So that is a normal hit, which does 1 wound. Spindle drones have 2 wounds each. A critical result counts as 3 wounds. A grievous is 3 wounds. She'll spend the 5 and fire at the same one again. That's a crit. And I did say it was the same one again. So she has killed 1 spindle drone, which will have a chance to come back when the spindle drones activate. All she's got left is a 2. She'll fire a normal rifle shot, try and take out the other spindle drone, looking for a crit ideally. She actually got a crit. So that is the other spindle drone dead. And that is her activation. When an activation ends, you have the chance to earn a inspire point if you can roll equal to or under the total wounds you did. 2 spindle drones dead, 2 wounds each, so it's 4 or under. She got an 8. No inspiration point. That's fine. So now on the track it is UR25. So Mr. UR25 is very slow. He's only got a move of 1. He can increase his move value from 1 to 2 if the activation dice spent was a 4. He'll spend a 4 off the Destiny board, so that'll go into the discarded, which means he has movement 2. He'll go 1, 2, and he wants to stay at that range from the Chaos Traitor Guardsman, because his optimal range for his minigun is range 2 to 3, and they're currently at range 2. He'll spend the 4 on his card, and if he spends a 4 on an assault rifle attack, he gets to shoot twice. If he spends a 6, he gets to shoot 3 times. And he's rolling a d12 because he's at optimal range. So the first of the 2 shots into the guardsman did a crit and killed 1. I'm going to choose to kill the leader. I guess I get to pick, right? And the second shot he paid for, it's a single hit. He does 1 wound. How much wounds do guardsmen have? Guardsmen have 2 wounds. So wound counter. Say that's on the flamer because the flamer's dangerous. He's got 1 wound on him of the 2. He doesn't have a 4. He could spend there's 2 more guardsmen alive in that square. He's going to spend the 5 off the board, the Destiny board, and shoot twice again into that hex. First shot on the same guy who's wounded. That's a miss. Second shot, same guy that's wounded. That's a crit. So the flamer also dies. That's the 2 most dangerous guardsmen dead. He's got a 2 and a 3 left. He doesn't get the benefit of cover, so there's no point moving. He'll go on Overwatch with those 2 dice, and the way Overwatch works is you lower the dice value by 1, and then you can use it after an attack or a move performed by an enemy. So that means if you have a 1, you can't Overwatch with a 1 because it becomes a 0 and is discarded. But yeah, we'll leave UR with 2 dice. And now it would be over to the spindle drones. There's none of them left alive. Oh, sorry, he has to roll for inspiration. He killed 2 guardsmen, so that is 4 or under. That would be a 9, so he gets nothing. So the spindle drones, they get a chance to reinforce. And I actually have the table right here, so let's see if any of them come back. 3, I believe they do. Both of them come back. That's a thing. Now I'm going to need to check though if they get a turn in which they reinforce. I think they do. I'm going to go double check. Alright, they do indeed get an activation. However, because there was none of them left alive on the field, they deploy at a portal as close as they possibly can to the explorers. And that would be either this one or that one. I'm choosing this one, so they are deployed out of this shutter here, and they do get a turn. So this gives us a good chance to look at an enemy card. Also forgot to mention, every time you kill a spindle drone or an alert is rolled on their activation, their threat level goes up, which makes them more dangerous. So I've already killed 2, so they're at pulse threat level 2. Kill 1 more and they're rolling d12s for damage, and that's bad. So you flip a card over for the enemies, and boom, depending on the context, it's very similar to Wasteland Warfare. Depending on the context they're currently in, you roll the d20 and it decides what they do. So we'll leave that one there for a second and we'll see the first one on the left. He rolled a 6. No line of sight to an explorer, they sneak. And a sneak is, I'm sorry, I'm looking to my side, make a move that ends as close as possible to an explorer without entering a hex that they can see. Okay, and a spindle drone moves how many? 2. So 1, 2. You can't draw a direct line of center between those two hexes, so I believe that means there's no line of sight, so that's okay. And then the other one, oops, a 1, that's probably bad for the explorers. A 1 when they can't be seen is a hold. I think that means they just don't move. Yeah, it's literally do nothing, never mind. Huh. Okay, that was simple enough. So that was the spindle drone's turns. One of them decided to stay right there, the other one moved up but stayed out of line of sight. So then it goes to Pius Vorn's turn, and I need to read what she does. Alright, Pius Vorn can't really do any of her cool stuff because she's not got any good dice. Oh, I moved that Negavolt color, so she should have been on the square because as I said at the start, 3 small things in a tile. Anyway, so she's only got a 1, 1, 3, 3. She's going to spend a 1 and she'll move 3. Although she'll probably just move 2 onto the same tile as UR25. And then she'll do a basic flamer attack to kill the last guy in the center there. So she can spend a 1 plus. It's at range 2, which means she is rolling a d12 to try and burninate him. And she missed. She'll spend another 1 and try again. She did a wound, so that's something, I guess. She did 1 wound to the center guy there. She's going to try and kill him. Yes. Now if she had been able to slay 3 people in 1 turn, she could have inspired, and inspire is just like the character powering up. That was a basic wound. Did I spend that die or that die? She moved, she attacked, she attacked. Okay, I haven't spent that last one. She did kill 1 guardsman. Take that wound away again. She has a 3 left. She can't draw a line of sight directly to... You measure from center to center. So the center of that one... Well, actually, I would say that you probably could see that. It would be 3 away, which would be your optimal range. Yeah, why not? I think that's allowed. Again, if it's not, I apologise. This is my first time playing. Mistakes are likely. Feel free to point them out. But I think she can see that square, and it would be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's range 3. She'll attack. She missed anyway, so hey. She might as well spend the last Destiny. Well, Janice still has to go though. You know what? She will spend the last Destiny dice for the turn. She will try and burn the same one. She got a wound on him, but didn't kill him. 1 wound on that guy. So she only killed 2 wounds worth of guardsmen. That would be a 12, so she does not inspire. And now it's over to the Negavolt cultists. So these guys, they're rolling a d8 for damage at point blank. They've got 2 wounds each. Oh, they count as size large. I think only 2 large are allowed in a square at the same time, so never mind, I had that correct at the start. They also have an ability to shrug wounds on a 20. Add 2 to the die roll for every other cultist in the same hex or an adjacent hex. Okay, so they can ignore wounds. We have their behaviour here. They currently can't be seen, so they're hidden. Let's see what they can do. We'll start with this one on the left here and just work our way along. So the one on the left, that is a 14. That is charge. And charge means move towards the closest explorer, then attack the explorer. If there are no explorers adjacent, move towards the next explorer a second time. So it's a double move. And their move was 2. 3. Oof. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now, hang on, did it say you attack if you charge a second time? No, it says you move and attack, or you move. I believe that's correct. It doesn't say you attack if you move the second time. This one, a 5. Hold, he does nothing. Next one, 5. He holds and does nothing. 17. Charge, and he's on this side, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You would have thought, I'm sure it would have said if they would get an attack, and it doesn't say they do, so hopefully that's correct. Although you would think, that's the shorthand version of the charge roll. I'm going to look it up, so we might be back with them attacking, him attacking her, him attacking one of them too. If not, we'll be back with Janice's turn. So that does seem correct with the charge, however I did forget UR25 went on Overwatch with 2 of his dice, and that Negavolt cultist came into his line of sight after him. So his first Overwatch would have been on him at range 2, his second would have been at him at range 1, spending both of his dice. So the 1 would just be a range 2 to 3 assault rifle charge, and that Negavolt cultist on the left. Didn't hit him, so it doesn't matter. His second, point blank, so he would use his Power Claw, which is 2d8s. I believe when you roll multiple dice as part of one attack, you simply take the best result, you don't add them. That is my understanding. Although if you roll 2 blanks, it isn't really an issue, is it? So never mind, nothing changes. So now we are over to Janice's turn. He is a swashbuckler. He likes getting in there, so let's move him. He has movement 2. He's only going to move movement 1 to help Amelin out. And he's going to stab that cultist. Now he can attack 3 times if he spends a 6 on his flurry of attacks. He's going to spend the 5, which means he gets to attack twice. At point blank, does he get to reroll or anything? No. No. Okay. First hit is a crit, which would kill them, because the Negavolt cultists have 2 wounds. Well, that was simple. So the guardsmen are left, and I don't think you can loot while there's an adjacent enemy, from what I recall. He'll spend the 3 to move, and he might as well spend the 6 to go whole hog and do 3 attacks to try and kill this spindle drone. First hit did nothing, second hit did nothing. Come on now. Oh wow, okay, well, never mind then. So we go over to the cultists to end battle round 1, and there's only 2 of them left alive, one of which is wounded. Well, we might as well just keep going here. So they have a big card because they're all equipped with different stuff. The 2 that are left, one is pistol and melee weapon, and the other one is last gun. So that's, I don't know if that affects their... Oh, the sergeant should have had 1 more wound. I didn't read that. Whoops. Well, oh, also at the end of Janice's turn, 2 are under. Nope, he rolled a 4. Alright, anyway, guardsman that's got a wound. 17. Let's see. Range to the closest visible explorer is 2 or 3 hexes. I would say that's probably counting because he's not engaged, that's point blank. Yeah, 17. That would be a charge. It's a move and attack. Da-da-da. He charges in. Oh, there we go. And he will attack UR25 because I've decided that he will. So he is rolling 2 d8s. And he critted. A crit on UR28, who's rolling a d12 for defense. He needs to get a crit to counter. He could re-roll. He re-rolls failed saves. A normal save against a crit brings it down to a normal wound. I might just take that. Although he has a way to get rid of grievous wounds, I think. If the vitality roll is a critical success, you can turn a grievous wound into a normal wound, instead of removing 2 wounds. You know what, he'll re-roll it, try for the crit. He got it. He actually countered it. I'm glad I did that. Alright, the other guardsman who's still alive, with his las gun. He can see the enemy. 2, and he's close. Fall back. Fall back means double this hostile's move when they take this action. If the hostile can make a move that ends his hex not invisible to explorers, they do so. If they cannot, they attack the closest explorer. Okay, he is running 4 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. He just scarpered. Oh, should have rolled reinforcement rolls for the guardsmen, because it's not if there's none left, it's just you roll to see if any of them respawn. So this is their reinforcement roll, I forgot. 8 is nothing, have to get 4 under. So that does take us to the end of the battle round. I think everyone's gone. So now at the end of the round, what you do is you roll on the event table and see what happens. So let's do that. That is a 13. And then we come over here. I'll lift this over. 13 on the event table. Escape chamber. The leader replaces the portal furthest from the explorers with a maglev transport escape chamber. If more than one is equal distance away, the leader can pick which. If it's been rolled already, it hasn't, so we can ignore that. So the furthest from the survivors is that one by 1 square, I think. Because Janice is there, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hang on, it is that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. This tile here is going to be our escape chamber. I'm going to set up the initiative deck again, shuffle it, etc. and then we go right back to rolling Destiny dice. So the maglev chamber has arrived. That is our escape route. Destiny dice for round 2. The 1s cancel each other out. The 2s cancel each other out. We get a paltry single 5 over there. So then we have initiative. Going first will be UR25. Going second will be Hostile Group 2, which is the Spindle Drones. Going after that is Hostile Group 1, which is the Negavolt Cultists. Then we have, oh no, Hostile Group 3, which is the surviving Traitor Guardsmen. And then, well, we know what the last 3 are going to be. There's going to be the rest of our survivors. Basically the exact reverse order of last time. Now let me check one of Janice's special rules. In the first turn, oh, it's not the first turn of combat, he can do a free gambit. There's not that many enemies left currently alive, and the chances of them reinforcing on a d20 is very low, so I think we might just keep it. And we'll see what dice we get to play with. Janice. Ooh. 1, 2, 5, 6. Not too bad, not too bad. Amelin. A 3, 2 5s and a 4. Good. UR25. Ooh, a 1, a 5 and a 6. And Pious Voron. All these heretics, and she can't burn them because she doesn't roll 6s. Oh well. That's a fine roll. Alright, so UR25 is going first. Now, he can inspire if during an expedition he slays a spindle drone with a power claw, which means he needs to be adjacent because it's next to them. So I want him to do that to show off inspiring. So, he'll spend the 5 off the board, which gives him movement 2 instead of movement 1. He'll go plop, plop next to Janice, and more importantly, adjacent to the spindle drone there, and he will power claw it for a 1+. So he'll spend the 1, and he'll try and kill it. He got a crit. They don't get saves. He just killed it, and more importantly, he just inspired. So what that means is, I believe it's instant inspire, right? During an expedition, slay spindle. Yeah. So I think it's not a thing. I think you just do it. You flip the card over, and they become inspired. Their stats get better. Some special rules might change. I'm not entirely sure specifically what changes, and he still has a 5 and a 6 left over. So he can definitely see the other spindle drone. Also, that does mean the spindle drones are at maximum fury now. They're at threat level 3 or above. So they're deadly with their guns now, which is dangerous. He might as well shoot 3 times by spending this. Oh, it's a 5+ to shoot 3 times. Okay, he'll spend the 5+ to shoot 3 times at the spindle drone there. First shot does a wound. Second shot kills it. Nice. And he'll go on Overwatch with the 6, so it becomes a 5. He killed 4 wounds worth of stuff. 13. I believe you can still get Inspire points once you're inspired, because you can spend Inspire points on rerolls and stuff, if you get them. If he had another movement somehow, he could have moved onto there and checked it. Oh, you know what he could do rather than spending a 6 down to a 5, he could absolutely shoot that tile there. He could be a murder machine. So yeah, he's going to spend the 6, because it's 3 tiles away, so it's maximum range. And yeah, he'll shoot into the wounded guardsman first. Killed him. What did I roll on the dice? Because that's 2 more wounds, that's a 6. I think I rolled an 8, so if he kills the other cultist here with one of these other 2 shots, which he just did. Did I roll an 8? Oh, I don't remember. You know, I'll just roll again. He killed 8 wounds worth of stuff. So close. That's okay. Because he just cleared the field, basically. That means that when it gets around to other people's turns, assuming there's not a massive reinforcement, they can do some looting. And we need to loot, because I forgot to mention, we're not just here for loot, we're looking for clues. They're literally called clues to help us find strongholds. You do enough strongholds before the ticking clock runs out, it gives you the final mission, and that's how you win the big adventure. That's how you win the whole thing. So, UR went. It's going to be over to the villains, but give me a second. Alright, so Hostile Groups 2 is the Spindle Drones. Let's see if any of them come back via reinforcements. As a 6, that is not good enough, so we skip them. Go to Hostile Group 1, which is the Negavolt Cultists. They've lost 2, and their curtain is large. Do they reinforce? That would be a 20, which is a no, because they need 4 or under. But there is 2 survivors who get to do stuff. So we'll start with the one on the left. That's a 10 and he can't be seen. So he is hidden. A 10 is charge. That's a move, and then if he can attack, he does, and if he can't, he moves again. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just to be annoying. And then, oh, the other one. That would be a 4 while hidden. Hold. He is a wimp. He's just hiding. He's just staying there hidden. Alright, fine. So that's hostile group 1 done. Then we go over to hostile group 3. Do any of the guardsmen respawn? Or reinforce, I guess, technically. That would be a 9, so no, they do not. So that means we go straight to Pious Vorn. And she's going to loot, ideally. So she's going to move, spend the 1 for 3 move. 1, 2. And then you have to spend a 4 plus to search. So she's going to do that. Spend a 4. And that means you draw the top card of the discovery deck and see what you get. She has found Archaeotech. That is essentially loot. It's worth 1 money, which we spend when we leave the Blackstone Fortress and go back to Precipice, which we'll handle at the end of this video. So she has 1 loot on her, so just plop it there. Does she want to do anything else? She could move 3. 1, 2, 3. Center to center. Center to center, I think that's fine. I don't think it crosses the void there. Oh, he's in cover though. Oh no, but the Flamer ignores cover. Ignore cover for a Vindicator, Flamer, or Cleansing Fire. Yeah. Alright, she'll spend the 2 to move. And go 1, 2, 3. And center to center, she can totally see that square. So she's going to spend the 4. Vindicator, Flamer. It's range 3. So it's a D12. It ignores cover. So the way cover works is if you get a normal hit, it counts as a miss. If you get a crit, it counts as a normal. But she ignores that. And still rolls nothing. So it's irrelevant. That's her turn. That's all she can do. So we're over to Amelin. Janice can probably kill the cultist that's there. She'll spend the 3 to move 3. And go... well, hang on. Also, that's disappeared now because it's been collected. If you get adjacent to an enemy, I believe you can't move. So she'll go 1, 2, 3. She'll spend the 4 and go 1, 2 to go there because she works better at long range. And then she will do an aimed shot. Sorry, aim is an action you can do to give yourself the ability to ignore cover. Her scope gives it automatically as long as you spend a 4. So she's doing that. She's at 4 plus. 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's rolling a d12 because it's at 4. Did I roll a d12 for her earlier? Because if it was... No, I think I rolled 31 for it. She's at 4 plus, so she's rolling a d12. Rerollable and ignores cover. She got a crit. That cultist. Negable cultist is dead. And she will overwatch with her final die. And go down to 4. Actually, there's no point because it's going to activate. Or not going to activate, they've had their turn. Well, on the next... Well, no, the next round you roll more, don't you? She'll stay put. I don't want her to go in by herself because she's designed for long range. She killed... Oh, I didn't roll for Pious Vorn, did I? Oh, she didn't kill anyone. Alright, for Amelin, she killed 2 wounds worth. That would be an 18, so she gets nothing. And then Janice to end the turn. He is going to do the big stabs on the Negavolt cultist. Spend a 6 to get 3 attacks with his flurry of attacks. First attack. Crit it. Oh, sorry, that's not a spin. Did I say Spindledrone? That would be a cultist. And there is no cultist left, so it's very unlikely he's going to kill anything, so I'm just going to roll for inspiration now while I'm remembering. He got a 1, so he actually did get an inspiration point. Which is here. You can spend 3 of these to force yourself to inspire. But again, you can also spend 1... I'll just put it on this picture for now. You can also spend 1 for rerolls and things, I think. I'll need to double check. He'll spend the 1 to move 1. And then he's going to clear that number 2 spot for the 5 and draw a discovery card. Ooh, the Lost Volume. Reinen Rouse Secret Agenda. So this is for some characters that I have not painted up yet. Now that's a difficult thing because it's worth 3. And I don't know if there's more than 1 in the deck. He could spend this and buy something really nice, but if he dies in the future and I paint up Reinen and Rouse, who are the halflings, this would make them inspire. So it might be worth him holding on to this, so that if I ever use them, he's like, oh here, I found this. inspire and be really good in combat. I guess we'll have to wait and see what's in the shops at the end of the mission. Because the mission isn't over once this is done. This is step 1 of a potential 8. Well, 4 combats, but still. Then he'll spend his 2 to end his turn with another 2. Doot doot. Right there. And yeah, that's turn. So again, get everything... Oh, we need to roll for the event table first. Then clean everything up and get the initiative done again. Oh, a 1. What is a 1 on the event table? All is dust. If any discovery markers are still on the battlefield, the leader must discard one of them. Well, goodbye potentially other bit of loot. You're gone. So to start this new round, we start with Destiny, starting to get the hang of things. Those 2s go away, but we have a 4, 5, 6, which is pretty nice. Shuffled up the initiative deck, so let's see. Hostile Group 2, that's the Spindle Drones. Hostile Group 3, that's the Guardsmen. Okay. Well, we know what the last 4 are, but what order do they activate in? Giannis. We have Pious Vorn. I'm going to guess Shadow. Well, yeah, Shadow Guide. And finally, UR25 up at the back. Alright, well, we have to just do a reinforcement roll for the Spindle Drones. 7, not good enough. It goes over to the next turn. Guardsman, reinforcement roll. Nope. And oh, sorry, there's a Guardsman left though. Okay, so he needs to act. A 17 on the Guardsman. Even though he's getting no help. He can see the enemy. So... other? No, close. Close. And he got a 17. That would be a charge. So charge, move towards the closest explorer. Boom. Pious Vorn. And he's going to attack with his lasgun, which is a single D8. And he missed. So that's it. We go to Hostile Group 1, which is the Negavolt Cause, do the reinforce. That would be a 20 again, so no they do not. Oh, I totally forgot to roll the activation dice for my characters, that would help. I knew I was forgetting something. Wow, double 1, double 3. Thank goodness those doubles don't disappear. Shadow Guide, double 5, 2, 3. It's fine, she can just stab him. UR25, 2, 3, 4. And then Vorn, 5, 5, 5, 4. Wow. And it's Janice's turn. So we do want to leave. So we're going to spend 2 to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get him in the elevator. I guess he could have pistol shot first and then moved. Yeah, you know what? He'll stop there. Just so he can shoot the guardsman in the back. Range 2 to 3. It's just a D8. He missed. And then he'll spend his last to go in the elevator right at the back. So why not? So next is Pious Vorn, and she's going to burn at close range. Ooh, the chain blade is definitely the best bet, so we'll spend the 5 on a 4+. She has annihilated the last enemy on the board. Let's see if she inspires off of that while I'm remembering. Nope. So then she'll just spend, I mean, she doesn't matter what she spends, she'll just go 1, 2, 1, 2, get in there. Shadow Guide, we'll spend 2 to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to the back there. She's done. Now, UR25, let's just spend all 3 of those Destiny dice, which gives him 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It gives him 6 because each one was higher than 4, just so we're clear. The Explorers make it. The combat is 1, although they missed out on 1 loot thanks to its disappearance. So now they are back in the elevator. They go down the next floor. I'm going to clear this up. And then we draw an exploration card and start all over. So with everything tidied, it is time for the next step of the exploration. Now because we finished the card there, you can choose to leave. That is it. But although we did well there, so we're going to push on and see, is it combat or is it... No, it is a challenge, the Chasm. Make an agility roll for each explorer. If the roll is a failure, either discard one of the explorer's discovery or resource cards, or roll the Blackstone dice and look up the result. You don't want to roll a 1, they die. Nice. Okay, let's start with Janice. His agility roll is a D8. He does have something he can get rid of, although it would be a shame to get rid of it. So, looking for a success. Presumably that's, I didn't say crit success. Okay, he passed. You do nothing if it's a pass. Okay. Amelin, she rolls a D12. She's very agile. She crit success, so she's fine. The robot, oh dear, it's a D6. He failed, so he rolls a D20 because he has nothing to get rid of. That would be a 17. The explorer suffers 1 grievous wound. Well, there's a grievous wound for you, buddy. Agility on Piceborn. She passed. That wasn't so bad. So I don't know, do we get a recovery step after the challenge? I believe you would. Does that when you are thinking? Roll a vitality roll. I'm going to double check just to make sure. Yeah, it does seem like you do get a recovery step, so he's going to make a vitality roll on D12. He got a crit, so that would normally be, you can heal 2 wounds, however, he has his repair systems. You can turn 1 grievous wound counter to the wound side, which means you can get rid of that in the next recovery step or the next encounter. At the cost of I think it's a 4+. Actually no, I think a recovery roll attempt is just a 1+. Anyway, we'll see because we're pushing on. It's another challenge, a surprise attack. Take the initiative cards for the explorers and shuffle them, and then reveal the cards one at a time. As each explorer's initiative card is revealed, that explorer is attacked once by a spindle drone's pulse. The first explorer is attacked at threat level 0, the second at threat level 2, and so on. Okay? And then the spindle drones get scarper. I've already shuffled these for the next encounter happening, so let's just do it. So the first person, Piceborn, gets hit by, where's the card? A tier 0 attack. Let's have this one here. Tier 0 is a d6. Does it hurt? Nope. So the next one is going to get hit by a tier 1. Janice Drake gets hit by a tier 1. Tier 1 is d8. It's a crit. His defense roll is a d8. He brings it down to a normal wound. So he gets a normal wound on his card there. And then Amelin Shadowguide gets hit by a tier 2. Oh yeah, because it starts at tier 0, which I called tier 1, but yeah, that's 2 d6s, which seems less bad. Shouldn't have said that before I rolled, because that would be a crit. Defense roll is a d6. Ah, she took a grievous wound. Less good. Less good. So that obviously means UR25 gets hit by the hardest one, which is a d12. He's got the best chance of dodging it, which again I shouldn't say before I roll. So his defense is a d12. He needs to get at least a hit. He can re-roll it though because of his roll. He countered it, so he took nothing. So the surprise attack, the spindle drones run off. They caused a normal wound to Janice and a critical wound to Amelin. Now that's 3 cards down. We know that there's 3 more combats and 2 more challenges left in that deck, and we need more loot. Let's draw another card. It's combat. It's got 4 groups of enemies. Oh, it's an ambush. We start in the middle. Oh dear. Alright, this is going to be deadly. Let's see what the 4 groups of enemies are. Group 1 is 4 Urgles. Group 2 is 3 Urgles. There isn't enough of those in the box, so I'm not sure what you do in that situation. I'll double check the rolls. Group 3. Traitor Guardsman. No, Debris. It costs 2 hexes of movement instead of 1 to enter a hex with a cover hex slide. Okay, so that's a special roll for the mission then. And then slot 4. 6 Traitor Guardsmen. Okie dokie, we'll get this set up and see what we're doing. So the ambush is set up, and there is a rule in the rulebook called not enough miniatures, and you just deploy as many as you can. So that does mean that this Urgle space is actually empty, and we've lucked out massively because you only get 4 in the box, which are deployed up there, 6 guardsmen up there, and this one wasn't anything because it is a special rule. If you're crossing a cover line, it costs 2 instead of 1. Simple as. There's how the explorers are deployed. We need to see our destiny dice for battle round 1 before we do our initiative. The 3s go away into the discard pile, but then we have a 1, a 4 and a 5. So Janice, he only rolls 3 dice because he's wounded. Gets a 1, a 3 and a 5. Almost exactly the same as the destiny dice. Evelyn also only gets 3 because she's grievously wounded. A 1, a 3 and a 4. Now, UR only gets 2 dice. He relies on the destiny pool, and it's a double 2. That's not so good. Piceborn gets all 4. She wants some 6s here. Okay. 5, 6, 1, 2. Let's see our initiative. Actually, I think in an ambush you have to put the monsters first. I just remembered. I think there's a rule about that. I'm going to double check. I can't find the rule. I swear I remember reading it, but we're just going to play on as normal. If you know the page number, please tell me, although it looks like it's not going to matter because enemies do seem to be going first. And then we have Janice Drake next. And then we have Amelin. Then we have... oh, never mind, this is actually working out quite well. We need to take out... actually, I guess the one that is just a special role shouldn't be in this deck, so if I roll or pull the 3 card, it's not there. And I guess, well, the 2 cards should be there, it's just you don't have the miniatures, because they could potentially reinforce... I'm not sure how to handle that. The one that should have the miniatures and doesn't. The 3 is the special role, that shouldn't be there. We'll take that out for the initiative. Pious Vorn. And Hostile Group 2. Right at the end there. Hostile Group 1 is going first, and that is the Urgles. I think we're going to use the Clarion support ability. Once per acquisition at the start of a gambit step of the initiative phase, the leader can use the infrared loudhailers. If they do so, in that gambit step, each explorer can perform a gambit without having to spend an activation die. So you roll a dice. I'm not sure which dice you roll for it though. I'm going to have to double check. Okay, here we have the button gambits. You roll the agility dice, which is different for each person. Failure, you do nothing. Success, you can swap with someone adjacent or the closest enemy. And if you get a critical success, you can swap with anyone on it, which makes sense. So Janice is going to try and go first. And this is for free. Normally you would have to spend, but we've used it once per game ability. He got a crit success. He is going to swap with Hostile Group 1 to go first. Amelin is also going to attempt an agility roll, and she gets a d12 on that. Because it did say each person can, and she gets a crit. She just wants to go adjacent and switch. Because we want to murder the Urgles before they get a chance. Your 25 is probably going to fail, but hey, he'll give it a go because it's free. He did fail, and Pious Vorn will give it a go on a d12. She got a crit success. I don't know if... I think you just swap, you don't push down, right? I'm not 100% sure on that. I might be cheating here. Well, it's not cheating if it's ignorance, I suppose, but either way, that might have been wrong. We're going to run with this, though. We need to get out of here alive. So, I'm comfortable with the others killing if Janice decides to move instead. So he's going to spend 1 and go 1, 2. And he's going to spend the 5 to search. And pull a discovery card, and he has found an Archaeotech worth 2. He's getting rich. And then he's going to spend his other die just to move here, and he's going to call the escape elevator there, but he can't this turn. Actually, he totally can if he spends off of the... you know what, he's going to spend the 4 off the destiny board to force the escape chamber to be right there, because we want to get out of here promptly. So there's our maglev elevator. It's going to take us out once this is done, because I think we're beat up a little bit. So that's his turn. Straight over to Amelin. She'll fire with the 4+, at the closest Urgle that she can see, which is one of the tile there. Which is 1, 2, 3 tiles away, so that's d8. Nope. And then she shall spend that to move 3. 1, 2, 3. She might as well spend the 1 and just move Doomp. We're snatching and running. I did kind of want to get that as well, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to. Pious Vorn, she wants to burn things. She likes burning things. Infernal, 4+. She could put down some fire, actually, instead. This action can be taken once per activation phase. Place an Infernal marker up to 2 empty hexes that are visible to Pious Vorn. And adjacent to each other. So she could burn that tile and that tile. And lay down a wall of fire while escaping, instead of just burning things to death for no reason. Anyone that walks into it takes a d12 attack. Ignores cover. Okay, so what she could do then is she put it there to block them. She could spend 2 more dice to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spend to search that, and then spend the destiny dice to move 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that's a cover line. I didn't realise this was all cover. Oh, that means they shouldn't be as far along. You know what? We'll bring them back a couple. They shouldn't be quite there. I didn't realise that was all cover. Yeah, she'll do that. So she'll spend the 4+. She'll spend the 5 to put down Infernal. I'm going to need to get them out of the box, but she's going to put them there and there. And then she's going to spend 2 to have 6 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then search this, because we need to snatch and grab and get out of here. So that's the search. So she has discovered a clue. That's important. We need 4 clues to find one of the hidden strongholds, I think, or maybe it's 3. And then she'll spend 1 off the board to move 3. 1, 2, 3. I think she's going to have to stay there. Potentially get shot at. She's in cover. Yeah, she'll stay there. Alright, let me think about this. Alright, flame tokens are set up, and we're on UR's turn, and he's going to spend the last destiny die, the 5 there, for 2 movement, which means he can only move there. And then he would have to spend his other 2 dice to get 2 movement. I'm not even sure if you can do that, like you accumulate, so it's 1 plus 1 to give him the requirement to jump that barrier, or if you only do 1, which means it's impossible. We're going to play it like it is. He's spent both, so he has movement 2. I don't know if that's right, it might be wrong. Couldn't see anything that says otherwise. So now we move to 4, which is the Traitor Guardsman first, so we'll need their card. And we'll start with the lasgun guy. It's at the front. 5, and he can... yeah, he can see. He's not close though. Engaged, I guess it would say. No, that's adjacent. Not within range 2, that would be other then. 5 on other. Advance. Advance. Move. And then attack if they're in range. Okay. So Guardsman move 2. 1, 2. Although if he moves there, he can't see because it crosses the void. So I guess he does nothing then. Constantly having to switch over the side the cards on for the Traitor Guardsman. Next lasgun guy. 12. Same situation. That would be Onslaught. So that's the attack the closest explorer in range and visible, then attack the closest explorer in range and visible again. Okay. Now can he see? Range 4 plus. Well, yeah, he can. 4 plus with his lasgun is a... so first attack is a hit on Pious Vorn, who defends with, ooh, just a d6. She takes a wound. Second shot, thanks to Onslaught. It's a crit. It wasn't a crit until it rolled off of there. Blocked it. It didn't block it, rather, so that's a grievous wound. Ow. Next guy. The guy with the stick and pistol. 12. Onslaught. No, he can't because he's got his pistol. Oh no, he can. It's just a d6 on Vorn. Nothing. Nothing. Next guy is the Flamer. 6. Advance. So that's just 2 again, so that's 1, 2. Other guy with a pistol and the melee weapon, that is not the right time rolling. That would be a 5. I think that's attack again. That's advance. 1, 2. And then finally the sergeant has +1 wound, I'm remembering this time. Oh, there was something I was forgetting. Oh, the Negavolt Cultist had the shrug wound on a 20. I don't think it mattered, it's a 1 in 20 chance, but I totally forgot. 19, Onslaught. I think he can see, well... to me it crosses that void a little bit, so I don't think he can. Does it say they move if they can't shoot? It doesn't, so I'm going to guess not. So we're going to go to the Urgos next. They're a bit more simple. Start with the one there, they're also probably going to burn to death, but let's see. He cannot see currently, so he's hidden. He's going to sneak. What does sneak mean? Make a move that ends as close as possible to the explorer without entering a hex that's visible. He stays still. First one of the square that's got 3. That's an 18. And they can be seen. So other, I guess. 18 would be a rush. A rush is their special rule. Move towards the closest explorer, then take a charge. And they move 3. So he's going to go boom, boom, and try and burn to death twice. First Bernie square, just killed him. He burns to death trying to charge. Next one, it's a 15. That is a rush. Boom, boom. He's going to try and burn to death. Nope. Yes. He burns to death. Final one. That would be 2. That could be different. Fall back. So he's just double his movement value and run away. He's going to go... He's right up there in the corner. So that's the end of the battle round. We're going to try and escape next turn because everyone's getting very badly wounded now. It's time to stop. But we first have to roll for event. 4... Not dead yet. This is different. The leader must pick one hostile that was slain during the combat and has not been returned to the battlefield, and then deploy them as close as possible to an explorer. Okie dokie. Let's see. The only things that are dead are 2 Urgles. So, an Urgle has appeared next to Janice there. Joy. Alright, this is the turn in which we need to escape. Destiny dice. 5, a 6, a 2, and 2 1s. We're going to use, because this is the last mission we're doing, we're going to use Long Haul Gamma's special once per game ability. You keep all Destiny dice. That's basically it. So all Destiny dice are being kept because you are 21, 26, 29, 30, whatever it is, 25. He's going to need them to escape. Janice only has 3 dice left. 4, 5, 3, or 3, 4, 5, one might say. That's on his card. 3 for Amelin. Wow, 5, 6, 6. Where was that earlier? She could have done some nasty sniping. 2 dice on UR. 3 and a 2. Fair enough. And then just 2 on Pius Vorn. 3 and a 4. And then, initiative order. We have UR 25 first. We have Janice Drake, which is good. We have Amelin Shadow Guide. This means we might be able to get out of here. We have Hostile Group 4, which is the Guardsman. Hostile Group 2, which is nothing. It's the special rule. Well, it should be the Urgles, actually, so there should be a reinforcement roll then, I guess. Pius Vorn, and then finally, the Urgles. And when Pius Vorn goes, the fire disappears. So UR goes first, and he is gonna spend... As long as he spends a 2+, it's a sprint. Or a rush, rather. So spend that to move 2. 1, 2. He didn't touch cover. He'll spend this to move 2, although he actually just moves 1. Well, in that case, no, he might as well save the 2 then and spend a 1 off the board to move 1. And then he'll do a claw attack on the Urgle. Just 2 of these. And he double critted. So the Urgle is dead. We're ending, so I don't think the inspiration points matter because they don't carry over. But he actually would have got an inspiration point, so... Good on you, Robot. There's 1 inspiration point for you. We'll spend the other 1 off the board to get into Maglev. Accidentally turned that to a 6, but it was a 1. So he's safe. He's guiding everyone in. Janice, just going to spend and walk in. Amelin, just going to spend and walk in. Actually, she'll spend another die. Just so that she's at the back there. It all comes down to can Pius Vorn make it? Spend 1 for 3. Oh, that's 3, but that's 2, 3 because she crossed a barrier. Spend that. 1, 2, 3. She's in the elevator. See you later, suckers. We're not going any deeper. We are going back to Precipice, which means we don't do any more exploration cards. We go back to town. We can spend, although we didn't get that much. We can recuperate and whatnot, so we'll get that set up. And we enter the end stage of this initial video. So here we are at the Precipice step. This is when they go back to their ships. They rest up, they heal, and you flip the cards over from their support ability, which you can use once per expedition, to their facilities, which offer the chance to gain things. There's sometimes a risk of something negative happening. You go to the resource decks for each ship, you randomly deal 3 cards, and that's the shop you have to choose from with associated prices. If you go to the ship you're originally based on, you have +1 trading point, essentially a +1 currency for a trade you're making. That's the order in which we're going to handle everything. I've already looked at things ahead, but first of all you have to draw a legacy card from the legacy deck over here. I think there's 12 cards in here. If you run out of legacy cards and you haven't beaten the last mission by the point at which you would have to draw another, you fail. So this is going to be the legacy of our adventure. The top card is, Rogue Psychers. Include the Rogue Psycher encounter cards in the encounter deck when it is set up at the start of an expedition. So the next time I do that deck, it's going to be all those cards there. with any that also say Rogue Psyker on them included. So the Blackstone Fortress gets harder. This is just always in play now. It's the first legacy card, and it continues to get harder from there. Sorry, I got distracted by a siren in the background. So, Janus, he technically has 5. If he goes to his own ship, he has 6. He is gonna, don't tell Ryan and Rouse, don't tell the halflings. He's gonna exchange these by going to Long Haul Gamma, and he's going to buy the Raiment of the Technomancer. So use this card in the recovery step or the event phase to remove 1 wound or to turn a grievous wound into a normal wound. Roll. If you got rid of a wound and you roll a 1, get rid of the card forever. If you got rid of a grievous, roll a 1 to 5 and you lose the card forever. Potentially pretty good. It helps him out, and there's a chance it will get discarded, but that should be fine. And those are they're just discarded now. I guess you could shuffle them back into the discovery deck. You must have to do that, because otherwise Ryan and Rouse will never inspire. We'll see. So the other thing he can do is the Long Haul Gamma thing. You roll the Blackstone dice, you get 11 plus, you get a random Architect card from the discovery deck. If you roll a 1, you die, and on 2 to 10, nothing happens. That is a 17. 11 plus. We'll just draw until we get an Archaeotech. Okay, he has 1 Archaeotech back. You are 25. He has nothing. He and Shadow Guide have literally nothing. He's going to go there as well and roll. He gets to re-roll because he's from that ship. He got a 12, so he gets Archaeotech. He gets 1 Archaeotech. The robot has wealth. We're going to lose this war. The Pious of Orange, she has 1 Archaeotech, but it becomes 2 if she goes to her own ship, and she is from the ship. Discard this card when the Explorer is activated to triple their move. Yeah. She'll buy Improved Stimulant. So again, that costs 2, but because she's trading on her own ship, she gets +1, so that's 1 + 1. The Improved Stimulants are hers. Now she could also roll with a reroll to try and get another clue, but if she gets a 1, she has to discard the one she has. What's the chances of rolling 2 1s in a row? Doesn't matter if she rolled a 20, she just gets another clue. They're in here, so, oh, there it is. So she has 2 clues, so we need 3 or 4 to get to the first stronghold, although we want to get stronger first, ideally. Amelin, you have nothing to lose, so you might as well roll and try and get a 16 plus for a clue. 14. Didn't make it, that's okay. So that does conclude our first Blackstone Fortress adventure. I'm hoping to get through all of this. Feel free to point out any mistakes I did obviously catch. I forgot about the Negavolt Cultists shrugging wounds on a 20 or more if there was adjacent. There was probably a few other little things, but hopefully more or less it was done correctly. There was a couple of things I wasn't clear about, so feel free to clarify those for me. Hope you enjoyed. There will be more Blackstone Fortress in the future. Oh, totally forgot now. Now the adventure is over, we use these neat little plastic wallets. These are the stasis pods. Your characters and all their cards get put into stasis pods. If ever you have more than 10 things, you have to discard down to 10. But that's not an issue here. So they'll be getting put in their storage pods. Until next time. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta for now.